Good afternoon, dear students. Welcome to our session of microwave and antenna. So, in previous session, we started off our discussion with respect to the solution to the transmission lines. So, in which we came across we obtained the solution for intrinsic impedance, then alpha, that is attenuation constant, and beta, that is phase constant. And from that alpha and beta we can obtain what is propagation constant. This is what we had obtained in the previous session. So in the previous equation, we saw that the phase constant is given by beta is equal to omega into square root of LC. But we know that omega by beta is termed as the phase velocity. That is ratio of omega to beta is termed as phase velocity. So when we consider that, right, what we have is we have phase velocity which is equal to omega by beta, which is given by 1 by square root of LC. So this is the phase velocity of the wave which is traveling in that transmission lines. So now based on this, we have a few considerations what we have to consider. So here this phase velocity in vacuum or in lossless transmission lines, and lossless transmission lines, it will be equivalent to what? It will be equivalent to the speed of light in vacuum. If it is a lossless transmission line, the this phase velocity will be equivalent to c, that is the speed of light in vacuum. So under this condition, what this equation turns out to be is, that is for lossless condition, we will be having Vp is equal to 1 by square root of LC, in which this equation will be reduced to 1 by square root of mu naught into epsilon naught. So when I substitute mu naught and epsilon naught, I'll be getting nearly 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second, which is nothing but the value of value of this speed of light in vacuum. So this is with respect to the transmission line. This is with respect to the lossless transmission line. So under this condition, remember C is equal to 1 by square root of mu naught into epsilon naught. Now, if it is a lossy line, this equation holds as it is. That is Vp is equal to 1 by square root of LC, and this one will be including the relative permeability and permittivity. So in this case, it will be 1 by square root of mu into epsilon, where mu is equal to the product of mu naught. So in this case, when it is lossy line, Vp is equal to 1 by square root of LC. This equation will be equivalent to 1 by square root of mu into epsilon, where mu is equal to mu naught into mu r, and epsilon is equal to epsilon naught into epsilon r. So when I separate 1 by mu naught into epsilon naught, it is nothing but C value, and when I separate 1 by square root of mu r into epsilon r, I'll be having the other term. So when I reduce this, right, I'll be getting this factor, that is the phase velocity when we consider for a non-lossy line, that is when the line is having losses, transmission line is having the losses. So under this condition, we have the phase velocity is given by replacement of this one is c is equal to 1 by mu naught into epsilon naught. So I'll be having the phase velocity in the lossy transmission line will be given by c divided by square root of mu r into epsilon r. Now we have another one that is another one factor, that is relative phase velocity factor, what we have to consider. So the velocity factor is given by actual phase velocity of the wave which is traveling in the transmission line to the velocity of the light in the vacuum. So here the phase velocity of this lossy transmission line will give you the actual velocity of the wave. This equation will give you the actual velocity of the wave, and apart from that, the velocity of light is nothing but given by c. So when I consider both the parameters, what I'll be having is, if I consider this equation, VE is the actual phase velocity divided by the velocity of light in vacuum. So which will be equal to 1 by square root of mu r into epsilon r. So this equation is gives you the relative phase velocity factor. It gives you the relative phase velocity factor. So based on the previous discussion, we'll go through one or two problems which we'll be discussing. So we'll look after the first problem, that is example one. So in this case, what he has specified, a transmission line has following parameters, wherein R is given as 2 ohm per meter, the conductance is given as 0.5 mho per meter, frequency is given as 1 gigahertz, the inductance is given as 8 nano henry per meter, and capacitance is given as 0.23 picofarad per meter. So remember, 1 gigahertz will be equivalent to what? It will be equivalent to 1. It will be equivalent to 1 into 10 raised to 9 hertz. It will be equivalent to this one. Then again, nano is nothing but 10 raised to minus 9. Pico is how much? Pico is 10 raised to minus 12. So you'll be having these parameters. So now you have to calculate the characteristic impedance, that is Z naught, and propagation constant, that is gamma. So along with this, you can add a few more, like identify what is alpha and identify what is beta. So these things you'll be able to identify using this these parameters what they have specified. So in this case, we know that characteristic impedance Z naught is given by what? It is given by square root of Z by Y. So it is equal to, Z is equal to R plus J omega L, and Y is equal to G plus J omega C. Now what is omega? Omega is omega is 2 pi f. So you can replace omega with 2 pi into 1 gigahertz, and R, L, G, C parameters with the parameters what they have specified. So now remember, this is complex number calculations which is involved. So you should know few of the properties of using a complex numbers. Okay. So when you are estimating this, so R plus J omega L divided by G plus J omega C, when you estimate this parameter, it will be simplified to this value. So which is in your rectangular form, 4.29 plus J 100.52. So it will be up to this value.